Hello everyone, my name is PlasmaMuffin, and welcome back to my Minecraft Aether mod tutorial series. This episode, I'm going to be attacking a bronze dungeon. So, what the dungeons in the Aether are is, they're a lot bigger than normal overworld dungeons. They have several rooms, several large rooms, as you can see. Just this little entryway is larger than most normal Minecraft dungeons, and each one has specific loot. There's three types of dungeons in the Aether. Bronze dungeons, which is this one. Silver dungeons, which is, I can't see any from here, but they're the sort of Greek-looking things, and have a couple near my base. And then there's gold dungeons, which look like these normal islands, except that they're round, they're kind of small, and they're covered with golden oak trees. And the music's annoying. So, Bronze Dungeon is the weakest, with the least powerful loot. Silver Dungeon is in the middle, fairly powerful, fairly good loot, and the Gold Dungeon is the hardest and has the best loot. And so you might be wondering about my choice of inventory here. I've got bread and a bunch of pickaxes. I'll explain that in a minute, but so to find these dungeons, the bronze ones, you need to find this mossy holy stone. This is something that is found only in the bronze dungeons, and I think the gold ones as well. I don't think they're found in the silver ones, I'm not sure. They might be. But the so that's something that is sort of similar to the overworld dungeons, but that's really where the similarities end. So let's go in here, and this is where I'm going to need my ambrosium torches. This is a really weird looking dungeon. It looks really cool though, so I like it. I'm wondering actually if two dungeons spawned on top of each other. I would not be that surprised. But hang on a second. Alright, so in these dungeons, there's also some of these blocks here, and what they are is, what are they called again? I forgot. Called carved stone, and you cannot mine them with Skyroot pickaxe, unfortunately, which means you cannot get the double drops. But I think you might be able to actually craft this. And then we have the sentry stone there, which is similar to carved stone, but it glows. It's got these little runes on it. Let's get the sword out. Now, there's different enemies you can find in these dungeons. The first one is, when you walk around on these dungeon stones, there's a chance you'll spawn those guys. They hop around like slimes, but when they touch you, they explode. So if you can, try to avoid being near them when they explode, because it's generally not fun to have your face blown to pieces. And the second enemy is not here right now. Cool. So you can find some pretty neat loot in these dungeons. This dungeon has some ambrosium, some rings. You can actually put rings on your character in the inventory. This is just a sort of for fun thing. There's rings that are useful, like Zanite rings, like ice rings and stuff, but you can't, the gold and iron rings don't do anything. This is an agility cape. If I replace my normal cape with it, then I will walk up 1 block high steps without having to hit space. So this is without the cape on. I have to hit space to jump. This is with the cape on and just walk up. This is very useful, although sometimes it can be a little more of a hindrance than a help because of these zephyrs that will shoot snowballs at you, and it's easier for you to get up little steps, so sometimes you can get flung off the edge even if you're standing in a little pit. So just walk around on a bunch of this stone, see if we spawn anything. Nice, didn't. Now let's open the chest. Okay, this is a mimic. Mimics are these little chests that when you try and open them, they will attack you. When you kill them, they drop chests. And they're not super dangerous, they're not very hard to deal with, but they can be annoying. So just be careful, and every time you open a chest, make sure that you aren't too close to it. Cool, poison darts. And my inventory is completely full. Wow, I did not expect this. Well, at least I got these chests. I'm gonna put the blue air cloud in there. What else do I not need? Either dirt. Yeah, I guess I don't need that. I don't really want the poison darts. Might get them if I have room in my inventory afterwards. Yeah, there's 2 dungeons here. That's cool. So kill this guy and get some sentry stone. Glows, as you can see. Very cool. Whoops. Alright, I think we're ready for the first boss. Now, you may be wondering why I am doing the first boss with no armor. So each dungeon has its own boss. The bronze dungeon has the slider, silver dungeon has the Valkyrie Queen, and the gold dungeon has the fire spirit, or sun spirit rather. And just want to make sure there's no I forgot what these things are called actually. It's like sentries or something. Yeah, I think they're called sentries actually. And that was really pathetic. Why did that happen? Alright, so I'm just gonna clear out my inventory a bit, and then I'm going to attack this dungeon. So, these dungeons are kind of difficult, but I've actually done them many times before, and I'm pretty used to the way they work. So, I'm actually going to be doing this with no armor, because I want to save my armor for the silver dungeon, which is, in my opinion, the hardest to get through without dying. And more chests. Wonderful. Ooh, Zanite shovel. That's nice. Kind of pointless, because, I mean, who needs to dig dirt really fast? Ooh, Zanite pickaxes. Nice. And axes. Guess I can put the glowstone and holy stone in there. Yeah, this is a huge dungeon. They're normally way smaller than this, but I think I got 2 dungeons spawning on top of each other. By the way, mimics will hurt anything they touch, even if they don't have the mimics will hurt anything they touch, even if they don't have even if they're not a player. So if they touch one of those sentry thingies, then it will actually hurt the sentry. That's an interesting little fact there about them. So this is great. I have Zanite pickaxes. I don't even have to make one now. I'm gonna put some torches around because this place gets pretty dark. So when you get close to the slider, you start hearing a bunch of cave sounds, like a bunch. As you can hear, I'm getting them like every second. Now, slider cannot be damaged by normal weapons, or anything really. As you can see, I punch him, nothing happens. I run into him, I can stand inside him, nothing happens. He's asleep right now. Whoa. But, if I wake him up by smacking him with a tool or weapon, then, see, perhaps I need to attack it with a pickaxe. Now, you can attack it with any kind of tool. And axes are actually the best because they deal the most damage, but I think you're supposed to fight it with a pickaxe. And besides, it's so easy for me, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the pickaxes. Now, something to note is that pickaxes do take double durability damage when you hit mobs with them. So, you don't want to... You'll want a lot of them. At least 3 holy stone pickaxes, 3 undamaged ones, or I think 2 zanite, and a few others you can use. So, if you're a beginner at this fight, I recommend actually using a zanite axe because it does the most damage, and I recommend full zanite armor because this guy is really hard to fight if you don't know how to do it. But I do. Let's get started. So as you can see, he's angry, he's sliding at me, hence his name. Now, something about the slider is that, or any boss, is that they have this cool health bar at the top. It says, why Maveriland slider. It's randomly generated, there's a bunch of different parts of names that the game can use, and I'm just running away. And it strings them all together. So, let's start fighting this guy. Don't just swing your pickaxe like crazy, that will make the durability damage go even faster, and you won't really hit him. Now he can only move north, south, east, or west. Essentially straight. And he cannot move kitty corner diagonally. So if you stand kitty corner to him, he cannot actually hurt you. Or cannot move towards you. He can still hurt you if you're dumb enough to run into him. But so wait for him to stop turning red before you strike him again. Otherwise, he'll just take lots of durability from your pickaxe, and you don't want to keep switching tools during the fight. I made that mistake once. But, so yeah, if you know his fighting style or his AI mechanics, then he's actually really easy to fight. You don't need armor. I'm hoping to do this flawlessly without getting hurt once. Doing pretty good, I'm very close. It's almost down. Oh, okay, so now when he gets low in health, his eye turns red, he moves much faster. This is the hardest part of the fight. Now, if you happen to die during this fight, you will not actually lose, he will not regenerate health, so you can pick up the fight where you left off and his health will still be pretty low. And I did it! Achievement get like a bossaroo. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Okay, so apparently you only need 2 holy stone pickaxes, but better be on the safe side. So I've got this bronze key. I'm going to look at it in the Book of Lore. Bronze key, dropped by the slider. Use it to gain access to the bronze treasure chest. So, by the way, you can actually put Books of Lore inside themselves. Get the achievement, Loreception. So, now, you probably noticed that the wall appeared here. The door closed. When you're in the slider boss fight, you cannot flee. This is common with all the bosses. Or at least, yeah, I think all of them, unless they get bugged. So now we have this little treasure chest down here. Can't open it right now. You can't mine them. I think they're like bedrock. They could never mine them, but you don't need to. So just right click on it with the key, and then right click again, and boom! Nice, we have a bunch of new stuff. This is the best item you can get from here, but the others are pretty good too. So, so that's nice. I didn't get hit once. Now let's go fight the other one real quick. And perfect chance to use this sword. So this is a flaming sword. I got it from the treasure chest, and as you might imagine, it sets things on fire when you hit them. This is great for fighting groups because you can just hit one and it'll start burning, hit another and it'll start burning, and so even though you're not constantly hitting all of them, they'll all be taking damage at the same time, so that's very useful. And gonna want to get another tool out. There we go. Agility Cape is very useful. I like to use it most of the time. Alright, let's kill this next guy. Winu Nor Numel, the slider. I like to try and pronounce the names every time I fight them. Careful there, Plasma. Just in case I like to have another tool out. Of course, Skyru isn't really the best. So you can attack him with any tool, shovel, pickaxe, or axe. But I like to use pickaxes just because I think you're supposed to. It says maybe I should attack with a pickaxe, so I think you're supposed to use the pickaxe against it. Yeah, you can close the door. Sometimes there's a bug where they won't close the door and you can escape and run away. And there's also sometimes a bug where he will get stuck on the ground. Like, he's one level up, as you can see, but sometimes he gets stuck below, and you can just stand on this middle platform and he can't hit you. It's very funny. So you can just keep hitting him and be invincible, and it's all fun and stuff. So I'll explain a little more about all the different dungeon loots once I kill this guy. I might actually do that in the next episode, because I think this is running kind of long. I don't want these to be too long. I've already kind of failed miserably in that regard. Alright. Use the key. And... oh, cool. Yeah, this isn't stellar loot from this chest. The other chest had better stuff, but whatever. So, it's cool, Valkyrie Lance. So, I'm just gonna do a real quick rundown of all the different chest loot. So, this is a Valkyrie Lance. It is one of the worst items you can get, actually, but I only got one, so that's good. Hang on. So, it's actually intended to be a lot better, but it's not. Do I need any of this? I guess I'll grab the Sentry Stone just for fun. For fun and lulz. So, this thing, the Valkyrie Lance, it does 5.5 hearts of damage. That's as much as a diamond sword. And it's intended to have long range, but it only has long range for blocks, not mobs. I test this out, but there's really nothing I can test it out on, because there's really just animals here, and I don't want to kill the animals. So, yeah. So, it is kind of useful, I guess, for, like, if you want to mine a leaf that's far away, like, way up there. If there's just, like, one leaf that you want to get, you can mine it with that. So it's more of a mining tool, but it's really not the best. You can use it as a short-range weapon, though. It's kind of fun. And as you can see, it's aimed differently than the normal tools and weapons and stuff. The flaming sword I already mentioned. It sets things on fire. I think it does 3.5 hearts of damage. Not entirely sure about that. I haven't really tested it out all that much. These are lightning knives, which are extremely useful items. Excuse me. So these are pretty useful. If you left click, they don't really do anything. And as you can see, they stack to 16. Now, if you... careful there, Moa. I want to find something to fight that isn't going to cause collateral damage. Get far away from my pig. Oh, perfect! Alright, so... if you left click, it doesn't do anything. It does half damage. It's pretty pathetic. Just like punching someone with a piece of bread or something. But if you right click, throw it, and it will actually strike the ground with lightning. which is pretty awesome. I love it. It's very fun to use, but unfortunately, they are pretty rare, and so you have to use them sparingly. But they're good for if you have a group of mobs that you don't want to fight, or, well, or something like that. You can also take all this Aether stuff to the overworld, and all the weapons and stuff will work perfectly fine. I don't think tools will, but weapons will. And so you can have fun killing zombies with all these really powerful weapons. Finally, we have the Hammer of Notch. So, this is based off of Thor's hammer from Norse mythology. And so if you left click with it, it does 5.5 hearts of damage, as much as a diamond sword. And takes 1 durability. If you right click, however, boom, it shoots this little projectile that does not curve to gravity, goes very fast, and not only does it hurt mobs, if it hits them, it can go through mobs, and it hits mobs that are near it, so it has a large area of effect. Unfortunately, this takes up several durability uses. So, like, you punch a mob once with it, you smack it, and that'll do 1 durability, and you right click and it'll do like 5 durability, or 3 or 5 or something. So I like to keep these in reserve for the other dungeons, which are much harder. So I killed both those bosses without getting hurt once, and here I was all scared I was gonna die. But yeah, Slider is pretty easy. Bronze dungeons are definitely the easiest. But they also have the weakest loot. But I think that's gonna do it for me for now. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that it helped you in some way or another. Have a good day. Bye.